students had some things to learn. Now it is your turn, teachers, right? It is now your turn. You also need to learn, right? In terms to be able to empower the students. So we're all calling all educators because coding is the future and we are here to help you bring it into your own classrooms. Our next presenter is Amanda Egbu. She is the program coordinator at Raspberry Pi Foundation. She is passionate about empowering teachers with the tools to make computer science accessible. With experience teaching in the US and South Korea, she's dedicated to bridging education gaps and growing coding clubs nationwide. So get ready to be inspired, to help be inspired the next generation of coders. So Amanda, happy STEM Day.
Happy STEM Day, everyone. Happy STEM Day, Vivita. How y'all doing today?
Wonderful. We've been learning today. I tell you, I got notes.
Yeah, I was learning a lot about the Nautiluses.
Right, right. Look, I can't even pronounce it, let alone to say it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm very excited to talk to everyone. Let me know when I can be ready to share that screen and we can begin this presentation.
Go right ahead. It's all yours now.
On it and sharing. Okay, everyone. Hi there and welcome. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our program called Code Club. So welcome to this presentation. It's called Learn to Code with Code Club. Now let me tell you a little bit about these little icons I have right next to my screen or on my background. We have this berry right here, and this is my job. This is the Raspberry Pi Foundation. And above me is my email address if you ever need it during this whole presentation. But the Raspberry Pi Foundation, this is the organization that helps create computer curriculum, formal and non-formal, and research behind that computing curriculum. And the Raspberry Pi Foundation created Code Club. And we're going to talk all about that stuff in this presentation. But let's go ahead and get started. So once again, my name is Amanda. And then this is my wonderful coworker and fearless leader, Kevin. So we are in charge of the entire North American Code Club team. We're your Code Club USA. So anytime you need to reach out to anyone on the US team, you'll be reaching out to either me or Kevin. So let me talk about what we're going to be going through during this entire presentation. We're going to go over introductions, and we just did that. So then we're going to move forward into the who, what, where, when, and hows of Code Club. The introducing our 3-2-1 make model. She's a beautiful model. She's so great, so informative. You're going to love her. And then also I'm going to demonstrate our first project and then have a little space for Q&A. Also, feel free to put some questions in the chat. I won't be able to see them, but I'll be able to catch them at the end. So store them there so you don't forget them. I'm here to answer all your questions. So let's go ahead and get started. What do we do? What do you do at Code Club, Amanda? Let me tell you all about it. So, Code Club is a global movement of coding clubs where young people develop confidence in creating digital technologies. So, we want our young people to be able to see some tech around the world and just be like, oh, they probably did this. Oh, they did this. Yeah, I can figure out how to do this, versus seeing tech and being just completely confused and kind of nervous when it comes to approaching it. That's what we really want to do here at Code Club and at the Raspberry Pi Foundation. So, who do we serve? Code Club serves all school-age children, and that is children, but also anyone who's just learning how to code. If you are an educator and you want to just get some practice coding, this is open to you too. I know personally, I definitely have a lot of great experience using all of our projects and all of our resources, but to everyone, we do say we're open to all school-age children. Code Club is accessible and inclusive to young people from all backgrounds. We really just, all you need is a computer and you're ready to go. It's currently run by teachers, educators, and volunteers from all walks of life. For example, you can have someone who is a computer science enthusiast or someone who works at a tech company and really wants to give back to their community. These are Code Club leaders. These people they run code clubs in schools and community centers like youth clubs or libraries or maker spaces, but usually they're in schools. Sometimes they're in candy shops, which we have learned. Sometimes code clubs can pop up in candy shops. Anywhere that is safe and public for our community is where a code club can possibly appear. Now, here's what you need to start a code club. And you can think of a code club as any other kind of after school program or elective period. First, you need that code club leader, and that would usually be a teacher or that computer science enthusiast. And then you need a venue, like the candy shop that I mentioned, or like a museum or a school. And then you need a safeguarding sponsor. And that safeguarding sponsor, I'm going to explain a little bit more later on in this presentation. But basically, one thing you need to know is that safeguarding sponsor is separate from the club leader. These are two different people. Then you need to complete our safeguarding module. And this is very similar to like a first responders kind of module. In the UK, which is where the Raspberry Pi Foundation is founded, they have another term, and that's called safeguarding sponsor, but it's basically first responders. It's something that we still do here in the States. And then you're ready to start. So club leader, and then another person, that safeguarding sponsor, a venue, and then that completed safeguarding module. And I'll also have a whole slide talking about that too. Okay, moving on. Now, how do we support? Amanda, what do you do during this whole thing? I'll tell you what I do. We have created hundreds of free coding computing projects all on our website, all free, all the time. We will always be free and always be accessible to everyone. We are going to give you guidance and support to help you set up and run your club. If that comes from PDFs, if you're a PDF kind of educator or just really just needs to read through something and you don't have time to listen, we have completed PDF guides on how to get started with your code club. If you're the kind of educator who likes a course that's set out, we've created training for educators and youth workers and volunteers. Say, for example, you're a code club leader or a teacher and you're like, okay, I know I want to start a code club and I know there's some like people around me who want to help me, but I don't have time to train them. We have completed trainings on our website that show you what to do when you want to encourage your students to get more active into the classroom, how to be a little bit more hands-off, because Code Club is not something that is similar to being in the classroom. It's supposed to be a club. It's supposed to be informal. Kids are learning from each other. It's a flexible model that can be adopted to reflect any local context. We all know that schools all run a little differently, even by district, let alone by state. So we really made our Code Club model something that you can just adopt into whatever you're already doing, but we also can provide a little structure if you need that too. We also wanted to make sure you had the challenges and incentives you need to inspire your young people. Things like rewards or swag or certificates. We have them all available on our website that you can just print out and keep these young people coding. All right, here we go. So, a pop quiz. Can a club leader and a safeguarding sponsor be the same person? Do you know? Can you put it in the chat? What is it? Can they be the same person? Of course. Option number one, of course they can't be the same person. Yes. Or number two, never. No, 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 they never can be the same person. Or number three, maybe if you ask nicely, they could be the same person. What do you think? Can a club leader and the safeguarding sponsor be the same person? The answer is no, never. They cannot. Think of it like someone who's vouching for you. That is what the safeguarding sponsor is. Now, this is where I'm going to be talking more about it. That safeguarding sponsor can be a colleague. It could be a supervisor. If you're computer science, it could be a fellow computer science teacher or a principal. This is someone who you know trusts you and can just be like, yes, this is a teacher who is going to be starting a code club. And then let me talk to you a little bit about this module. So the safeguarding module is a 30-minute module that you can really breeze by. It's very similar to the first responders module that you might have when you first start your job at a school or at a library. Now, this is just a way that we know that you all know how important safety is in our code clubs and through our club leaders. So once you have your colleague complete that safeguarding module, you'll be all set and ready to go. But there's another big point. If they don't complete that module, it can slow down the verification process. However, you do have ample time, and usually you'll get an email from me to follow up with you to let you know that a safeguarding module is not completed, and you should probably complete this so that we can verify your club. So just get that module completed, and you'll be all set and ready to work. Background checks are also necessary. You must complete your necessary local background check, which is also probably done through your school too. So this is just something we like to mention for establishments like the candy shop that's not necessarily linked to institution like a library or a school. Those are the places where we definitely require that kind of background check. If you're trying to get someone who is not a teacher at the school, like a parent, usually your school probably has a system for background checks. You can run through them. But if there's any kind of opportunity or any kind of hiccup you run into that where they require it to be paid, please email us and we'll help you out with trying to find you a funder, because it should not be too tricky to get those volunteers into your clubs and ready to help the coding. Now, let me introduce you to our stunning and gorgeous model. We like to call her the 3-2-1 make model. So the 3-2-1 make model has been researched by educators just like you. A part of our Raspberry Pi Foundation model is that we have three branches. One is that formal learning, which is curriculum, non-formal learning, which is us over here, Code Club, and then research. And that research is done by educators who know exactly what it's like to be in the classroom and know what it takes to really get these young people excited to learn about coding. So one thing we learned is that students really want to be able to explore and get the lay of the land. So we created 3 explore projects to get them excited or interested into the new skills and the different assets that are going to be available in their coding language. So for example, for Scratch, which is one of the beginner coding languages, you'll learn things like, oh, what's a sprite? Oh, how do I use a sprite? Oh, and where's the background? How do I use this? If you have ever felt overwhelmed with Excel or any kind of interface like that, where you're supposed to be like, what is a tool? What am I supposed to use with a tool? This is where all of that will be vanished, all that confusion. That's where the Explore projects, that's where we give you all 3 Explore projects for you to really get acclimated to the lay of the land. And then 2 design projects, and this is where you can start to make your own design decisions, where you start to you know where a sprite is, you know where a background is. How do I be able to add my own special taste? That's how our young people can stay engaged. That's how you, as a coder, can stay engaged too. And then in the end, we have one invent project, and that is where you use all of the skills that you learn from your Explore projects and your design projects to invent something completely brand new and your own. So that is our 3-2-1 make model. Here's another way of viewing it. So once again, those 1, 2, 3 explore projects to get you started with the skills, the 2 design projects so that you can feel like you're adding your own special taste, and 1 invent project. We give you 6 projects in each pathway. So that's why it's called the 3-2-1 make pathway, so that you're able to make things. Now, we have a lot of coding languages, and we'll talk about those later. These coding languages can be Scratch, Python, Unity. And sometimes in those coding languages, there's a lot of levels. So we might make level 1, level 2, level 3, but these are the pathways. And I'll show you all of that on our website a little later on, but that's what it looks like. Now, why? Why are we using this 3-2-1 make model? We wanted to slowly remove scaffolding. And scaffolding meaning that we don't want it that our young people are always asking questions or like, oh, how am I supposed to do this? Oh, maybe I should probably ask the teacher, because the teacher always knows. We have to give and that kind of trust back to our students, saying that I know you can figure it out. I can make things that matter to me. I can find out what I need to know. These sentences at the bottom of this slide are exactly what we want our young people to be excited about saying and be proud of saying, and saying it confidently. And so the 3-2-1 make model, where they're exploring things by themselves, asking themselves questions, getting a little hands up for some extra guidance. But usually in code clubs, the students are the ones talking to each other. They're asking each other, like, how did you get that? And they're like, oh, okay, I got it. And the teacher's just watching all the magic happen. So that is why we thoroughly believe in our wonderful 3-2-1 make model. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in a project a little bit later on. Now, you can go to our website called codeclub.org and explore our many resources. This is also where you can start to run a club or to join a club. So I'm going to keep on going forward. Later on, we're going to see what all that looks like. But what you can do is see that start coding line. If you did go to the website, codeclub.org, at the very top, you'll see start coding. We have over 250 free projects, all for independent learning or Code Club learning altogether. This also gives us a wide range of software or hardware that you want to practice with. So for example, if you wanted to get started with Scratch, but you really are into music, you can find a project that is Scratch and also music related. And that way you're feeling like you're really putting your interest back into coding. We have step-by-step instructions. I know me personally, I have an arts degree. Let me tell you that first. I did not graduate with coding at all. My dad is a coder, but that has nothing to do with me. At least I thought it didn't when I was growing up. And when I first joined this company, and they were like, Amanda, we'd love for you to go through one of our projects that we want our kids to do also. I was a little intimidated myself. And then I went and I was looking through the projects, and they're all very, very easy to follow along because of the step-by-step instructions. Usually the projects take about 45 minutes, but it could be a little bit faster depending on your age or a little bit slower depending on your skill level. So these are the pathways that we have available. These are all of our coding languages. So we have Scratch, web design, physical computing, if you have any doohickeys, Unity, Python, Microbit, AI, which is one of our brand new pathways. We're very excited about it. And then also the Raspberry Pi hardware. So as you can see at the very end, the Raspberry Pi is a little computer, actually about the size of a credit card. However, we are not pushing at all that you need to have our hardware. We actually have a lot of projects for Arduino, for Microbit, for other tech that's outside of us. So while we do have our own computer, we are not at all requiring you to have tech to start your clubs, requiring you to have Raspberry Pi tech to do any of our projects. We just want you to be able to have a computer and you're ready to get started. So let me go out of this screen and we'll go to our website. So this is the Code Club website. It's just remodeled and it's beautiful. So let me go down and we're going to go to explore our projects, and I'm going to walk you through the first one. So I'm going to click Start Coding. And then down here, you can have a sample of some of our projects, but I'll go here so you can see all of them. And then this is going to take you to the Raspberry Pi Foundation. And here's where you can see all of those project pathways that I was talking about before. Up here, we'll go to Scratch. And then here's level 1, 2, and 3. And remember that pathway that I showed you in one of those slides, they're in each single one. So we have 6 projects in level 1, 6 projects in level 2, and 6 projects in level 3. So we'll start with level 1. And here they are again. So we have our Explore, 3 projects for Explore, 2 projects for Design, and then our last Invent project. So starting with the very first one, we're going to go to Space Talk. And you have noticed that I'm not logged in. It still says login up here. So that means all of this is still free and ready to go. We wanted to make it that you can start a project at your code club, and if it doesn't get finished, kids can go home and go straight to this website and continue going. So we don't really do anything where we save work just yet. We're currently working on that, so you can have that option. But you can save work in your Scratch editor, and I'll talk about that in just a second. So this is our first project. On the left side right here, you can see all of the instructions. We're going to go to creating a scene, and Pico says hello, and Pico makes a sound. And then we're going to even show you exactly what you're going to make. So this is what you'll make down here. In this project, you're going to have each sprite do something different. So I'm going to click on the first sprite. This sprite made a sound and it said hello. And then I'll go to the second one. This one made a motion and then it went back down. And then this last sprite changed colors, said something, and then returned back to her original form. So we're going to start with create a scene. So it wants you to set up your project using the Space Talk starter project. Now it's going to show you the Scratch editor because this is the very first project, but over here, I'm going to go straight to it. So this is what it looks like. I've already clicked that link over there just to have it loaded up. Now it wants you to add a backdrop. Now, once again, like you look at this, you're like, oh, wow, that's a lot. I've never seen this before a day in my life. What am I supposed to do? We have pictures and instructions, word by word, picture by picture. If you're a visual learner like I am, I like to see what the icon is. You want us to choose a background. And that even shows you on the code editor where that picture is. So they want us to click this button and choose a background and to find space. And they said, in our example, we've chosen this space backdrop, but you can choose the one that you like the most. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on our Scratch editor. So oftentimes in code clubs, people have, the teachers have the instructions on the big screen, and then all of our coders or students, you would have this code editor app. So you were following along, or you can do a split screen. So you can have your instructions on one side and then your code editor next to it. So let's go ahead and get started with that background. So I'll choose a background. I'll go to space. And then they said you could choose any single one you want. So I'm going to choose this neon tunnel. And there it is. There's my neon tunnel. All right, I'm done with my instructions. So I'm going to go back over to the instructions on the other side. There it is. And they say, great, you're all done. Now you're going to add a sprite. They want you to delete the Scratch Cat or Sprite one. So if you haven't used Scratch before, that Scratch Cat is the mascot for Scratch. Move this down a bit. And then they want us to choose a sprite using this icon, that little cat with the plus, that's down at the bottom next to the background. And when you choose your sprite, you're going to click Fantasy and select Pico. So let me go over there. I'm going to select my sprite. I'm going to throw them in the trash. And then I'm going to choose a sprite down here at the bottom. I'll click Fantasy and I'm going to find Pico. And there he is. So now I have Pico right in the middle. So this is just to show you how, step by step, you can really follow along in this entire experience. I'm going to go ahead and go back to our presentation. Hopefully that gave you a very clear sign of how detailed we are when it comes to our instructions, because we really don't want to make it that people feel, oh, you skipped from step 3 to step 17. All of our steps are all there all the time. All right, so here's a little bit more about our project pathways. This is great for educators. If you want to look at these pathways on the bottom, the Scratch, Python, web design languages, if you want to see, oh, this is what grade I teach, maybe I should start right here. Scratch is always the best place to start. It's block-based coding versus typing with letters, which is really great for our 9 to 13-year-olds. However, if you have 13-year-olds starting at 13 and they're going up, and they want to build something that's very complex, you can start with Python because you can always go back and start with Scratch. I know the first thing I ever coded on was with Python, and then eventually I went back and I started doing some Scratch. So this is a great way to see at a glance what language you can start with depending on your age. When you go back to our Code Club website, you'll go all the way down to the bottom and you can click on resources. Man, the resources that we have for you. We have printable certificates for your clubs, which is so, so great for your young people's fridge because they need to be encouraged on a regular basis on how proud we are for learning coding. Coding was not available when I was a child. That is really unfortunate because our whole life is run by tech and by coding. So it's something that everyone knows that we all need to have as many resources as we possibly can. We also have unplugged activities, and unplugged activities are paper-based coding, to be honest. So this is something that you can print out from our website, and you can have your kids get their feelings, like start to get a feel of coding by using like just a pencil and paper, and have these printed out sheets, and we'll have those explained on those little worksheets. And then we also have our club leader guide. And that club leader guide has absolutely everything that you need to get started with running your first club. For example, how to get your students encouraged, what you need to get started with your club. In fact, I'll go to our website right now so you can see exactly where to find that information. So here's our codeclub.org website. You'll go all the way down to the very bottom, click on resources, and then all of that is all right there. And then moving forward. We also have online training courses for you, which are completely optional, but they're all free and online and all the time. We have a self-paced course, which requires you to have a Raspberry Pi account, but enrollment is, once again, always free. And these are really, really great if you want to have a lot more confidence just working in your clubs. And I think I want to practice Python a little bit more before I actually teach it. We have a course on how to teach Python to 11-year-olds. All of that is all there all the time and for free. And here are the key takeaways I want you to take away from this whole presentation is number one, you do not need to be an expert at all to run a code club. And you also don't need hundreds of children to get started running a code club. You don't have to come up with the concept at all on your own. It's all been there, all covered. We completed everything, and it's your code club. That means you get to run it exactly how you'd like. Now, I do have a little QR code right here, and this is an expression of interest QR code. If you wanted to scan this, it's just like 5 questions, and 2 of them are your first and last name. If you want any extra information, please feel free to scan that QR code or look at my or email me right here with my email address. This is just so we can get in contact with you. And also, this is the time for questions. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to just tell me them right now. I'm gonna try and find the chat so I can have this up at the same time.
While folks are thinking about a question, Amanda, I have a couple for you,
Yes.
because we know that teachers also are very important key to making sure that students understand coding. So I got a couple questions pertaining because I know there are some teachers that are listening. So the first question is, how does participating in a coding club improve problem solving and critical thinking skills for the students?
Oh boy, does it. So it it improves those kinds of critical thinking skills because it has coding is all about problem solving. When I was loading up this project alone, the background did not load. And I was like, where is it? I know I just clicked it. And then right as
Mhm.
I refreshed it, it popped up. So learning things like how does tech actually work? Does tech really involve me to start things over, turn it off and turn it back on again? Is it with patience? And then you learn patience in coding, and then you learn patience in math, and you learn patience at home. So there's so many different, because tech is so meticulous and very sensitive and very intentional, and code has to be intentional. So it adds attention to detail that you're learning here, and then you take that attention to detail to your writing. So because computer science and coding is so delicate, it's a great way to practice those skills and transfer them elsewhere into the world.
Perfect. And then another question is, how can teachers encourage students who may feel intimidated by coding?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm one of them. I mean,
Sure,
I'm the person that's intimidated by coding. Because I remember I took a college
absolutely.
class at coding, and no lie, it was early in the morning, but I fell asleep halfway through the class. I
Yeah.
had no interest because I was intimidated, I was frustrated, and I stopped doing it. I was interested in, but it was like I can't get this done. I could never get the code right. When I went and tested, I'm like, finally I threw the towel and said I'm done. So now I wish I
Yeah.
didn't. I stuck with it. So
Yeah,
how
no,
can teachers, for students like me, making sure that doesn't happen?
you know what it is? It's the teachers honestly admitting that they don't know either and working with the students to say, like, let's figure it out.
Mhm.
When I talked to every single code club leader, and they said, as soon as you drop that I know everything guard, then you're working together as a team. And then when you get there together, there's such camaraderie, there's such humanity that happens. And then also just like trial and error. That's all that coding is, because there's just going to be so many mistakes all the time. Even the most professional coders, they have those mistakes, and they have to reach out to their colleagues, and they're like, I don't know what to do. And it's like, but you're Steve Jobs. I don't know what to do. So you have to just problem solve together and do a lot of oh my goodness, ChatGPT and all those AI websites. They're really great for, I did this, how come this isn't happening? Just a lot of research together. But more than anything, it's realizing that everyone's working together at the same pace. So as soon as the teachers are just like, let's work together and let's figure it out together, that's when all of the success comes.
Okay, I got more questions for you. Don't go away. The other question for you is, how can schools and communities support teachers in running a successful coding club?
Sure, that's just popping it up. So the schools would find some sort of classroom, you know, you need that venue. And then any other extra questions, please reach out to us. Yeah, outside of just starting it, that's honestly the biggest part of it. The kids will come. They just want a space. And Code Club is such a comfortable space of let's just hang out and let's do this puzzle. It's very similar to kind of like an escape room where imagine
Mhm.
if you just sent a whole bunch of kids and left them in an escape room. They'd probably have a lot of fun by figuring out, oh, what are we supposed to do here? What's the puzzle here? Oh, it's here. I got it. Oh, I got this one. Let's share it with everyone. It naturally just spawns community. So it just, as long as the space is created and the students can do that themselves. So that's what we really are looking towards our teachers and educators and community leaders. As long as the space is there, the kids will come.
Okay. And I know because I know we have some parents that have students that are kids, their kids are homeschooled. So what
Yes.
sort of advice for those who at least want to have their kids participating, but may not have other kids around, but they want to have their kids get that opportunity, that experience in terms of
Yeah.
being part of a coding club. What should they do?
Yeah, do exactly what I did in this presentation, which is go to codeclub.org and then start coding just immediately. You don't have to
Mhm.
start your own code club within your house if it's just you and your child. You can say, let's do this project together. Let's follow the instructions. You can have the split screen up where you have the instructions on one side and the Scratch editor on the other, and then you just walk through the project together. And I also mentioned that none of the projects require any kind of login and require any kind of cost. So once you go to that website, just play around, look around the whole site. There's so many fun projects to do, and they're all beautifully designed. So really have a ball on that website.
Okay, I have two more questions for you. The first one I would say, what would you say are the best strategies to engage and retain students, who are interested in coding over time? They got
Right.
it, they got the interest, but the key thing is to keep that interest going until they kind of like, this is what I want to do, and start like increasing or adding to it. So to the point they do have a career in coding. What are some strategies, since you kind of help run Code Club nationwide? And what are some strategies that you think have helped?
Yeah, for sure. That positive affirmation is definitely so necessary. The point of showing that this is a community that actually really wants you. I know a lot of girls are less inclined to get into coding just because they don't really see themselves. So just telling the girls, you belong here, telling everyone from different backgrounds, you belong here. That's why we have those certificates too that we've created. Another fun thing that we've created is some swag. So we've created this Code Club enamel pin. We've
Nice.
also created this Code Club fanny pack and some stickers. We got some temporary tattoos that are coming in the mail. So we have a lot of fun things that we're excited to give you for free. So as long as you
Keyword
get
being
in
free.
the room, I know, right? They're really fun. I'm really excited about it, honestly, to send you all such free swag. But yeah, just involving them in. We have also other really fun events. For example, Coolest Projects. This is our technology showcase. So you have something to build towards. This is our annual event that we do, and it's worldwide. We actually have it in what is the date? I think we have March 14th is the last date to apply for Coolest Projects USA. So this is for our homeschool kids, our Code Club kids, anyone who has a project that they're really proud of, you can submit to Coolest Projects today. And
Wow.
because we really love to see it. So you can do the online showcase or our in-person Minnesota one. We actually have scholarships and bursaries to help you get there, get in the room. But yeah, so we have something we want you to build towards also.
And with the website, because I just step away for a minute, is it categorized by age group? Say if somebody has a child that is in kindergarten versus a child who is in high school, is the coding and they want to be a part of that? Is the website in a way where they want something that's kind of age grade level appropriate for the kids? Do you guys have that within your within Raspberry Foundation?
Right. We don't have it towards age because, like I said
Not so, I'm
before,
sorry, not so much age. I don't mean age, I mean grade level. Sorry, grade level.
grade levels. Yeah, and even then, like not so much with grade levels because me, I'm not in a grade, but I know I needed to start in the beginner side. So
Mhm.
that's where, let me just go back to that side over here. So that's where this slide would really help. You can just take a look at this. Scratch is the best place to start. And those who know Scratch are, they also have a hearing of Python as they're practicing with Scratch. So if you are starting beginner, Scratch. If you know Scratch, you know where to go next. So I would just highly recommend that. For us to put an age on it, it's different countries and different people start coding at different ages. So it's, I don't want
Mhm.
to put anyone in a box, not even myself. So that's where we like to just do like beginner stages. But when you go to our website, and let me go to our, oh, I don't want to go too much over our time. You go to start coding and explore all our project paths. Let me go actually just straight to projects up here. Sorry, y'all, I'm skipping around this website, but this is where it is. Here is
Okay.
our project site. You can refine it by any level. So we can do level 1 so that that student who is starting coding when they were like younger, they want to start with level 1. If you've been coding for a while, you can go to level 3 or level 4.
Okay, that is amazing. And then one last question, because two things. Somebody said it's free. Teachers love free. I
Yeah.
agree. So
One,
Adam, make sure you do get a chance to get on the site. And then another thing, somebody said is if it is not Scratch, most gives you minimal projects to levels, then you have to upgrade. So in the experience, the upgrade is very expensive. Are there something that can still give them what there is that is not cost if that is not costing too much, because we want to make sure parents kind of get, or they kind of get the information, because that is the most important thing. Can you talk a little bit about that?
sure. Can you point out the thing? Because everything on our site is free. What was the part that was that said it costs anything?
So Richard said if it is not Scratch, most give you minimal projects or levels, then you have to upgrade. So in his experience, it says the account upgrade is very expensive. So I guess the key thing is, my question is, are there alternatives within the site that can still kind of give them that experience until they can afford to upgrade
Gotcha.
if needed?
Yes. Yeah, we don't have any of that. From level 1 to level the highest level, it is all free all the time. So I'll show you that over here. Um, Let me go back. I got a little pop-up, but it's taking me out of it. Okay, great. So let's go to those pathways again. We can go to another one like Python. So Python has 2 levels. You can do Python. Once again, I'm still not even logged in. I'll go to level
Mhm.
2 and it's all right there. And there's my project and I can start the project. So there's never any place for you to ever pay for anything on the Raspberry Pi Foundation's website, no matter what level that you're on. I can even go to a um, higher leveled one. We'll go to physical computing. Some of them have a lot more than 6 projects, but once again, all free,
Mhm.
all accessible without any kind of login. And once
Okay,
again, I do want to encourage you to scan that QR code if you do want any kind of extra information. We'd love to get back to you.
so definitely, you heard her. She said to scan that. I'm gonna find a way to get on that code club, because I like those fanny packs. I like Adam said, I like free. Those materials look really cute. I like me a little sticker. I can't get real tattoos, but I don't mind getting me a temporary one from that says code club. So and I think it's okay if I'm older. I'm a senior citizen. I can still do that. So I'm gonna find a way. Maybe I can get my senior citizen parents to learn how to code. Who knows, right? Who
You
knows?
truly could.
But
Code Club
again,
is for
something.
everyone.
Say that one more time.
I said you definitely could. Code Club is for everyone.
I love it. So once again, Amanda, actually, one last question, because I know Penelope had put in is Raspberry and Lost in Space related?
Is Raspberry and what related?
Is Raspberry, I guess you could say Raspberry Foundation and Lost in Space, are those two related? I'm not sure if she's talking about the program that you guys have. So I'm guessing that's the question she was trying to find out, if those two are related. Maybe she saw somewhere that there's like Raspberry Foundation, Pi Foundation, and Lost in Space. Maybe it's another program or another companies, and she's thinking maybe that they are in related. So she
Sure.
wanted to know if that was the case.
Sure. No, not that I know of. I don't think we have a partnership in that, but please feel free to like I can follow up on that if you are connected to Lost in Space. But no, Raspberry Pi Foundation is completely separate. We are though linked with Code Club. Yeah. Oh, and I
All
want
right. So once again, thank you so much, Amanda. I didn't mean to cut you off. So thank you so much, along with Raspberry Pi Foundation. She did put her information on there, so definitely get in touch with her. Go on Night Coding Club. Look, this is what it's all about today: learning and free, right? Learning free. You've heard it here first. So definitely get a chance to go look through that website. Have your parents help you go through that website to kind of start your project. And again, Amanda, thank you so much for joining us for as part of STEM Day.